Hey guys, I just want to go over a few things since I've been getting questions about laws of exponents. So this video, we're going to be reviewing the product and the quotient rule. So these are the anchor chart notes that I created for you guys. They are located in your Google Classroom under the law of exponents notes. So make sure that you have these open while you're working. So the first rule is the product rule, and it says when multiplying two bases that are the same, we are going to add the exponents. And then I even have examples of what that would look like. So the base of 2, therefore this 4 and that 2, I can go ahead and add. So that tells me I'm really actually going to be multiplying those 4 2's, those 2 2's. So really in total, I'm going to be multiplying 6 2's. Same thing for if the base is the same here. Again, adding the exponents for a total of multiplying 11x's. Here, it's exactly the same. So I will be multiplying the x's, and then I'll be multiplying the y's. So what that means is here I have 2x's I'm multiplying, and then another 3. So that gives me a total of 5x's I'm multiplying. And then same thing applies for the y's. I have 1 here and then 4 over here. Therefore, I'm multiplying a total of 5 y's. Next is the quotient rule, which says when dividing two bases that are the same, we're going to subtract the exponents. So here on top of the fraction, I have x to the m. On the bottom, I have x to the n. Well, since I don't really know what m and n are at the moment, I know that if they do have the same base, if I did know what m and n were, then I know that I would just be subtracting their exponents. So here we have two examples. So the first one is 3 to the 5th divided by 3 to the 3rd power. So what I would do if I have 5 3's on the top and 3 3's on the bottom, then I would cancel out matching pairs. So really I would be subtracting 5 minus 3, which would give me those 2 3's that are left over. Same thing over here for example 2, and so on. So I'm going to kind of go over your first lesson for law of exponents. So again, I'm going to go over the product rule section that says when multiplying two bases that are the same, you're going to add the exponents. So example 1 is already done, so I'm just going to go over that one. It says x to the 3rd power times x to the 4th power. So x to the 3rd power times x to the 4th power. So I know to expand it, I'm just going to write all the times I'm multiplying x. So in the first section, I'm multiplying x 3 times. And then in the second one, I'm going to be multiplying x 4 times because the exponents tell me how many times I'm multiplying the x's. So in the next column, it's going to be me trying to combine all of the bases that are the same. So here I have x to the 3rd, and then over here I'm going to be adding the 4 other x's, which will give me my answer of x to the 7th. Same thing for example number 6. I'm multiplying all the bases that are the same. So 2 and 3, I can literally just multiply those two numbers. So that I know is going to end up being 6 later on. So the first set tells me I'm going to be multiplying g 5 times. So g times g 5 times. And then the second set of g's is going to be 4 times. That's not a minus, that is a dot. Okay. So then I know that these two, when I multiply them together, will actually give me a number, which is 6. I know that I've been multiplying g 5 times and then again another 4. And since they're the same base, I can go ahead and add their exponents for a final answer of 6 times g to the power of 9. So now we're going to go over the quotient rule, which states, again, when dividing two bases that are the same, we're going to subtract the exponents. So I'm going to go over our first example, which says a to the power of 4 divided by a to the power of 3. So a to the power of 4. Okay, so the first step, I'm going to expand this out. So by expanding, I know exactly how many a's are being multiplied and also divided. So on the top, I know that I am going to be multiplying 4 a's. And then on the bottom, I know that 3 a's are being multiplied. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the canceling out. So there are a total of 3 common factors here. So that means I know that this is a common factor, common factor, common factor. So really I know that only 1 a is going to be left over here. And I can see that in the next column from writing out what's happening here. So I'm going to start subtracting the exponents. So I know that it's going to be a to the 4th minus 3 all over 1, because again, there's no a's left over on the bottom of the denominator, which if I actually subtract this, gives me a to the power of 1, which I can see because when I was canceling out common factors, there was only 1 a left over. So then let's talk about the next part. So that next one is 6x to the power of 2 divided by 3x to the power of 3. So I'm going to go ahead and start expanding this out. So I know, let's see, what are factors of 6? 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. So 1 times 6, 2 times 3. 3 they have in common here, so I'm going to go ahead and use 2 times 3 to factor that one out. So 2 times 3 times, so I'm also multiplying x twice, so I want to make sure I expand that part. On the bottom, factors of 3 are 1 and 3, so I'm going to keep 1 and 3. And I'm multiplying 3 x's on the bottom this time. So then I'm going to go ahead and start canceling out my common factors like I did in the first one. So a common factor of 3 and 3, common factor of this x and this pair of x. So when I finish canceling out my common factors, I know that I have 2 on the top, 1 on the bottom, and then an x also on the bottom. So now I'm going to use the rule about dividing to subtract the exponents. So that would be, let's see, 2 was left on the top, so 2 times, now we started off with 2 x's on the top, but then we subtracted the 3 on the bottom all over 1, which would leave me with, if I subtracted this, 2 minus 3 is not 1, but it is negative 1. So 2 times x to the negative 1, which we could leave as 2x to the negative 1, or we could also use the negative rule. So we would also write that as 2 over x. Please let me know if you have any other questions about the product or the quotient rule. I will be making more videos about the other rules for law of exponents. I do know that the Ed Puzzle has been helping a lot of you guys. You've been commenting, saying that it works, it's helpful, it's good notes. You've also been using those anchor charts, so keep doing that. Let me know if you have any other questions. Bye, guys.